Louisville faces an affordable housing shortage with an estimated deficit of about 36,000 units. What role should Metro government play in making housing more affordable for renters, homeowners, and people experiencing homelessness?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I'm a huge fan of industrializing hemp for cheaper building materials. It would go across saving the city with the road work, and we'd be able to invest more into helping out and building these homes, and we'd be able to use the hemp products, the hempcrete, the hemp polymers, the hemp wood, getting planks of the stuff made easily. And we could all do it here in town, creating more jobs, more people to be able to buy houses and pay taxes. We got so many opportunities open to us that we just have to take the initiative to step forward and do.
Mr. Hurt.
Thank you. Our housing crisis is part of a global crisis. It's a global asset crisis. We can't just build our way out of this problem. We have to build and not add to the asset bubble. My proposal is called Lots to Lofts. I want to build 2,000 apartments in 1 year, 10,000 in 4 years. Apartments rented at 80% of market rate, owned by the city, so that it does not contribute to our market bubble.
Mr. Bailey.
Like I said earlier in a previous question, the economic outlook in the U.S. is dire. And that's not only for Louisville, but I live in Louisville, so it affects me. Gas prices and housing costs are driving the hardworking people in Louisville into debt. And our housing shortage needs to be remedied. I have ideas like partnering with local nonprofits to help create housing opportunities for people, changing local regulations to make it easier, government-funded housing programs, and that's it.
Repeating the question, Louisville faces an affordable housing shortage with an estimated deficit of 36,000 units. What role should Metro government play in making housing more affordable for renters, homeowners, and people experiencing homelessness? Mr. Greenberg.
Thanks, Carrie. Everyone in Louisville deserves a safe, quality, and affordable place to call home. It's the foundation for everything else we want to achieve in our life. We've built over 7,000 new units of affordable housing in the past 3 years. But we all know that's not nearly enough. We must do more, and that's what we're doing. We're working on building the community care campus, which will open this spring to provide more services and shelter to those most in need. More permanent supportive housing also to help those most in need. We're working to transform our vacant and abandoned properties through innovative models like the lien forgiveness program that we launched, and providing incentives to families so that they can buy their very first home to start create generational wealth for their families and improve neighborhoods at the same time.
Mr. DeVore.
Yes. So when it comes to the abandoned homes, and there are a lot of them, and it's so disgusting because you have rats running through there, you have drug use going through there, and the point of the matter is that we need to go ahead and clean that out there so our citizens can take over and focus on building one house at a time, flip it, build another house at a time, flip that over, and keep that economic growth down there and keep wealth down there, generational wealth. We had not heard that word in a long time. So you have an opportunity to build your own wealth, but you have to do it together. And that's the key point. So when we do that together, then we're focused on what is best for our children and best for the whole city of Louisville, not just downtown, but the whole Jefferson County. And that's what we need to do. And I'm hoping to bring that in there for you.
Ms. Parrish-Wright.
Thank you. I wouldn't be here without housing stability. I wouldn't be here without transitional housing. And I know how important it is, and it was for me and my family. I want every family to have it. The truth is we don't have enough housing stock for everyone to own a home. We have a great deal of renters that need and deserve our support. We have to make sure that I was in this place 2022, and it was promised that we would have 15,000 new units. And then those numbers grew by grabbing all the other housing development that was coming and putting it together and putting a stamp on it. We need real numbers that really mean that we're going to meet those needs. We were 30,000 in, we're over 36,000 now. That's going to take mixed-use development. It's going to take housing and affordable housing in every zip code, and I'm willing to fight for that without building a new hotel.
Ms. Burnell.
I want to point out that Mayor Greenberg started with the slogan of his favored developer in our city, the one that our city just gave $6 million plus legislative changes to, and I think that's very telling. So this is a problem we throw a lot of taxpayer money at, and I think there needs to be much more accountability when we are giving away taxpayer money to a for-profit developer. This is a very profitable industry. That does not get talked about enough. And I think we also need to expand the conversation when we're talking about affordability to what are we going to do for the people that already have homes? We have seniors who are afraid of losing their homes because of rising property taxes. We have people who cannot pay their utility bills and cannot afford groceries. So we need to look at making it affordable for all citizens.